Alistair, welcome. Great to have you on.
It's good to be here.
Pleasure is all ours. So to kick things off, recently we have seen significant changes in workplace dynamics, particularly so in the last 3 years. How have these changes impacted on employee well-being?
I think if you look back over the past 3 years, it's been an unprecedented period of change with having to deal with COVID, which has meant lockdowns, restrictions in our personal movement, work from home orders, as well as restrictions on business, which has meant a lot of those have been closed. So it's impacted how we go around our daily lives very significantly. And some of those changes came on rather suddenly. For instance, we were working in an office environment on Friday. By Monday, we're working at home, sometimes not in the ideal situations, working from the kitchen table, potentially shared with our partners and trying to balance that homeschooling life as well. So I think it was really vital that we supported our people in that time, and we continue to support as we go through the post-pandemic period and we get into that cost of living crisis as well. So it's really important that we supported our people. And Crawford have invested in welfare programs, teams, welfare champions, employees have access to smarter working programs, enhanced ability to buy and sell holidays, flexible bank holidays, enhanced maternity and paternity leave, also greater healthcare access, greater access to employee assistance programs. And our smarter working program gives the opportunity of our staff to take control of their work and how it fits into their wider life.
Thank you very much for that, Alistair. And in this ever-changing landscape, how significant an issue would you say burnout has become for the sector? And what are the factors contributing to this?
I think as employers, we really need to be re-examining how we show empathy to our employees and realign our goals with our people. We see people often at the worst time in their lives when potentially they've lost everything, and our people need to be there to show empathy and support, but it's also vital that we provide that support to our own people so they're in the best position to be able to help our customers and clients. And I think there was a recent survey from McKinsey that showed that 35% of men and 41% of women show burnout during their working lives, and I think that's really reflective of what you're saying, the changes that we've been through. Also, the correlation to that is that where you have highly empathetic senior leader teams, that there is significant less burnout than the companies that don't. So showing empathy and having empathic leadership is really important to limit that burnout of what is effectively our key asset.
And the market is also feeling further talent strain because of the so-called Great Resignation. Are we seeing a sense of employee apathy due to a lack of empathy?
I think there's an old saying that says that people don't leave companies, they leave managers. I think that's why we've taken the time to reinvent our leadership program. So we've got a new leadership team that invest in our people in a different way to cope with the different strains going forward. We've also invested in wellbeing programs, diversity. We need to increase our diversity so we reflect more accurately the communities that we serve, and we also invested heavily in our training programs. So when you look at the Great Resignation, the facts are here at Crawford that we've had our retention has actually increased in the corresponding period, and we've increased our internal promotions. We've invested in those people so they feel ready to take the next step. So we have actually bucked the trends. We must be doing something right in that respect.
And speaking more broadly, how does the sector need to ensure it is creating a more binding relationship with its employees?
So I think our employees and our people, it's a people business, and our people are our biggest asset, and they will make the biggest impact to our customers and clients, particularly in a period of change, and we are in that period of change. It's therefore really important that we listen to our employees and create a really healthy culture. A healthy culture will mean a long-term sustainable business, and I think without a healthy culture, then any gains are really small. I think we need to look at people career progression, how we invest in people and take a real interest in those. The career development, as I talked about, our internal promotion is up, and it's bucking that trend of as you say, the Great Resignation. We also need to look at our leadership. We've changed from a office-based environment to a home working type environment, and the management for that is different, and you need a lot more empathy as a leader to be able to pick up on those soft signals as to where people need help and assistance to do that. So that's where we are invested in that area.
And throughout this process that you mentioned, where does it need to start, and how do you ensure you maintain the momentum?
I think it needs to start really right at the beginning. And again, another old phrase is that you recruit for culture. Our culture is really important to us, and we recruit for people who fit, that have that cultural fit. That's where it really begins. And I think it's about some of those things we talk about, the investment in training, take a real interest in people and progression in their career. That's why we have things like our academy and also our apprenticeships, which brings us to the next generation of loss adjusters and insurance claims people.
And we touched on empathy already, and you mentioned the claims process earlier on. Given the unique role of the adjuster in the policy life cycle, how important is that sense of empathy in the customer relationship, and how do you demonstrate that in an increasingly automated claims process?
I think that's a very good question. If we go back to the pandemic and even post-pandemic, we're seeing it with the cost of living crisis. This is affecting people in different ways, and their behaviours can change depending what's going on in their personal circumstances that we need to try and adapt to and change. I think the survey from the mental health charity Mind did state that 1 in 6 people go through some sort of mental health issues, anxiety, depression, happening every week. So you've got 1 in 6 people going through that, and those are the people that we are seeing on a day-to-day basis. And we need to adapt and show that empathy to those people in what is a very, very difficult time and period for them. And we go about that by, we have a clinically trained led team in our customer enhancement team, and they're there to not only train our people to identify these issues and to make adjustments at a local level, but they will also come in and put together a custom program about how best to deal with the issues that our customers are suffering at any one time, and where that is necessary, they will actually be becoming hands-on involved in making sure that we are giving the right empathy and support to the people in a time of need.
But as we increasingly transition into a digital-oriented insurance environment, does the human aspect remain a critical component of the insurance offering?
They most certainly do. And I think if you look at any studies or surveys, and the data is out there, most people will talk about automation and digitalisation of claims. And I think it falls into 2 real aspects. First of all is the low value, low impact claims, where what people are looking for is a speed of settlement, and there's very little embedded in ownership of those particular claims. On the other side, where they're larger value claims would have a bigger impact on people, all the studies show that actually the human intervention, the human touch is really, really important. And we're seeing that with ourselves and our clients. They are putting their resources into those higher impact, higher value claims. And I think we will continue to see that.
And can you talk about some ways in which Crawford is addressing this?
Yeah, I mean, we use, as I said, the 2 aspects of it, the lower value claims, lower impact claims, where we need to automate things, and then the high value claims, which have a high impact on our customers, where we use technology to support our adjusters in the field. So instead of gathering data, spending lots of time gathering data, they spend more time on the customer aspects, providing the empathy and support. At the other end, we have full digitalised and automated processes that go from start to finish without human intervention. We also look at things like intelligent triage. So we look at all our past claims, we wash information through that. So we can profile claims that look like this, that should go directly to this particular service, so we get the right people involved at the earliest possible opportunity. We've also got various other things as well. So using the policyholder's own camera, we can create a 3D model, virtual model of their home or their factory. We can use that to take measurements and to assess the extent of damage. And if you like, instead of sending the resource to the site, we're now bringing the source back to the resource at a desk.
Plenty of resources there, Alistair. Well, thank you very much for your time, and it was great to speak to you.
Cool. Thank you very much.